1 month in Sweden, and I want to give updates about my learning process regarding the language. I think I'm not sure if I share that in English as well, but I put a goal for the July month, and my goal was how much can I learn, or how many words, new knowledge that can come to my head in 1 month, practicing or learning every day minimum 30 minutes of Swedish using free apps or apps that I do not need to apply for a new subscription or pay extra. So, or is inside any app that I already use, or I will not have to subscribe to something and it's for free. And my goal was not to be competitive and say, look, compared to ABC, I did a lot and whatever. No, my goal was to see how far could I get. What could I learn? How could I improve my knowledge about the language? And I'm here to share how was the experience for me, and as well share some maybe advice, tips, things that can help other people as well. So first thing I did was to force myself whenever I would go to a supermarket or to a registration office, any situation which I would deal with someone I didn't know and the person would basically assume I speak Swedish. I would try to speak Swedish or whatever I have learned. So I learned the phrase like, sorry, I do not speak Swedish. Do you speak English? But in the Swedish language. So I learned this phrase in Swedish. So I would say that to the person. And then if the person said, okay, let's switch to English, then we will talk English. But I would not say this in English because then what is the point? So I started with that. And I also started to say some things like thank you or what is that or I need help. And then I started to force myself and put myself out there, which I want to share here for those or people that do not know me, that I did the opposite when I was learning German and when I was learning English. English, I was learning in Brazil. I didn't do interchange programs. I didn't travel to other country to learn English. So the English I learned was inside Brazil with Brazilian teachers that learn English and teach Brazilians, no? And so I do not have an English from someone that have lived abroad in UK, USA, Australia, whatever. My English was improving as life goes, etc. With German, the situation was different. So I was working and living in Germany, sorry. And there I had the opportunity to practice, to speak, and to use it a lot of times. And what was the problem in the time is I was too shy to try and too scared to make mistakes and get judged and be ashamed, and all these fears that we human beings, adults human beings, have when we are trying something new. We get scared, we don't want to be ashamed, we do not want people to look strange to us, etc. So we want perfection. And in the time, especially with the German language, I had a lot in my head like, okay, I will practice once I have reached B2 or I can speak perfect grammar, or when my language level is whatever. At some point in my life, I changed this behavior, but I would like to go, if I could go back in that time, what I would do is, since the beginning, since the first month, throw myself in shameful situations, because as more as you expose yourself to be ashamed, to try, to mistake, to be corrected, etc., more that becomes less of a problem and less scared you get about rejection, about people looking so to you and whatever. But of course, in the time, I didn't think like this. I was scared, I was young, and I didn't want to do mistakes. And that was the big mistake I did. And this time in Sweden, I promised to myself that I would try to do the best to act different from what I did for English and for what I did for the German language. And that's what I did this month. And I'm very happy that I could first speak. Sometimes it's not fluent, obviously. I'm in the first month and I do not know much, but the little I know, I try to use it. I didn't care if the grammar is perfect, if the accent is wrong, whatever I did as mistake, I didn't care. My goal was to force myself and try and do mistakes and be ashamed and get over it. So that is my first tip. The second tip is, like, sometimes in life, the way will only open, or alternative ways will only open when you start to walk the path. Sometimes, and that's the same example I gave in the Portuguese video, was like, imagine you are walking a path in the middle of the forest and you see a mountain in the end of this path. But in between the trees, there are new ways, new opportunities, new things that you will never see from the beginning of the road or the path, because it's only possible to see these alternatives and possibilities when you start to walk the walk. Little philosophical here, but that is the same. Like, you will not meet people, you will not make new friends, you will not see opportunities, or even opportunities will not come to you if you do not try to learn the language where you are in the country you are living in, etc. I know a lot of countries, they speak amazing English and you can get everything easily and live your life normally without have to learn the language there. But especially for smaller villagers, and to make friends and many more other things, and learn the cultural nuances and everything, you only will get there with the language learning. And nowadays you have so many free apps, you have all those companies doing things to help people learning the language. So try. I'm really happy that my progress was really better than what I expected. I'm not there yet where I want to be. I have a huge way to go in the language learning, but this video is exactly to share that it's possible to do some progress. And sometimes we delay the start point because we are scared, because we do not want to be judged, and in the end they're on front after 2 years, 3 years, when you are living in a country and you still cannot say, I don't know, I do not want to pay with card, I want to pay with cash. And then you look back and you think, why I didn't try before, why I didn't press more times, etc. So this video is to tell you it's worth to try. You can learn. I'm very proud about the person I am now compared to the beginning of July, because in July I didn't know a lot of phrases, I didn't know a lot of words, and now I know them. In life is like this, you will do mistakes. Doesn't mean I did study every day. No, I didn't, because there were days I was lazy, I didn't know what to do. So in the summary of my month, I probably did 25 days. Some days, random days in this month, I could not do it. And it's fine. It doesn't mean I failed. It just means I didn't do some days, but the days I did, I learned something. And I'm not comparing myself to other person, and I'm not comparing myself to someone that maybe did a lot of hours every day and now is speaking a whole conversation simple in a coffee shop or whatever. I'm telling you that it's possible inside your limitations, inside your time, your commitment, that you can reach something. And you can adapt that for 1 month goal, fitness goal, reducing spending money on delivery, any other goal that you want to achieve, and try to break it down in 1 month and see how far can you get and measure it. And then in the end of the month, look back and see, wow, I did something for myself, and be proud about what you achieve. So my intention here is to share it and hope motivates you to look for something you want to achieve, see how can you break it down and do in 1 month, and celebrate in the end that you are trying to do something you want to. That's it.